Welcome. Today, we're exploring The Courage to be Disliked, a unique self-help book by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. This book presents life-changing ideas based on the psychology of Alfred Adler, a 20th century psychologist. But instead of a typical structure, it's written as a dialogue between a philosopher and a young man. Through their conversation, we learn how we can live more freely and authentically by letting go of our fears of criticism and approval seeking. Let's dive into the core ideas. The first big idea the philosopher introduces is that anyone can change their life, starting now. He challenges the belief that people are the way they are because of past experiences or external factors. Adlerian psychology, which this book is based on, believes that our experiences do not determine our behavior. Instead, we shape our actions based on our life goals. In other words, we aren't controlled by our past, and we don't need to be a victim to it. The young man argues back, saying that it's impossible to simply choose how to feel or behave. But the philosopher explains that while it can be difficult, making conscious choices is something we all have the power to do. By choosing to live in the present, we stop letting our past and others' opinions control us. Section 2, Separation of Tasks. Next, the philosopher introduces a practical tool, the separation of tasks. This means that each of us has our own tasks in life, things that only we can do and control. For example, let's say you're worried about what your parents think of your career choice. The philosopher suggests separating out whose task it is to feel that way. It's their task to have an opinion. Your task is to make your own decisions based on your own values. By focusing only on what is truly your task, you're freed from taking on other people's judgments. And more importantly, you're freed from letting others control your actions. The young man resists, saying that it's still hard to ignore what others think. But the philosopher reminds him that happiness doesn't come from trying to please everyone else. Section 3, the freedom to be disliked. This leads to the core idea of the book, the courage to be disliked. The philosopher argues that we give too much power to what others think, and that by constantly seeking approval, we lose control of our lives. We can never truly be free if we need others to validate us. The young man finds this idea harsh, but the philosopher explains that seeking approval is a trap because it's impossible to please everyone. Instead, he suggests that real courage comes from living according to our own values, even if others disagree or disapprove. When we accept that it's okay for others not to like us, we gain the freedom to pursue what's meaningful to us. Section 4, Living in the Here and Now. Another key lesson is that true freedom means living fully in the present. Adlerian psychology views life as a series of moments, where each moment is an opportunity to make a new choice. The philosopher argues that people get stuck when they're overly focused on either the past or future. We often avoid present challenges by either blaming past experiences or worrying about future ones. The philosopher encourages the young man to embrace the idea that the only reality is now. He teaches that being fully present allows us to experience life more deeply and avoid the endless what-ifs. Community feeling and contribution. A big part of the Adlerian philosophy discussed in the book is the concept of community feeling or social interest. True happiness, the philosopher argues, doesn't come from individual success, but from feeling connected and contributing to the community. This doesn't mean pleasing everyone, but rather understanding that we're part of something larger than ourselves. The philosopher explains that people often feel disconnected and unsatisfied when they don't see how their actions positively impact others. This sense of community doesn't mean sacrificing who we are to fit in. Rather, it's about contributing in ways that feel authentic to us. By doing so, we feel a deeper sense of fulfillment. Section 6, Self-Acceptance and the Meaning of Life. Finally, the philosopher discusses the importance of self-acceptance. The young man is frustrated with his imperfections and feels limited by them. But the philosopher teaches him that accepting ourselves, flaws and all, is essential to finding peace. Instead of striving to be perfect, we should focus on finding meaning in each moment and making progress. Adlerian psychology argues that life doesn't need a grand predetermined purpose. We give life meaning through our actions and choices each day. Instead of waiting for the perfect circumstances or the approval of others, the philosopher encourages the young man to start living fully right now. In summary, the courage to be disliked is a powerful guide to finding true freedom and happiness by embracing who we are, regardless of what others think. The book teaches us that we have the power to create a meaningful life by focusing on what's within our control, living in the present, and contributing to others in our own way. Most importantly, it reminds us that real courage comes from choosing to be our authentic selves, even if it means being disliked. So, if you're looking for a fresh perspective on self-acceptance and personal growth, this book offers some profound insights. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if this resonated with you.